Hey everybody, this is Kevin. I am your host for Kevin's Korner, real estate from a marketing perspective, and I'm very excited about this episode because I have a guest on that came all the way from Dallas to be on the show. So I'm very excited about that, and we have a returning guest that's been on before. But I always have to start the podcast by telling you guys that I couldn't do this if it wasn't for my support, which is Jennifer Sminis, the area vice president for Stewart Title. Caitlin Kornick, Devon, and Winnie Santana, the wonderful escrow officers here at my two offices in Sugar Land and Richmond. And at the same time, if you'd like to be on the podcast, give me a call, 832-654-0527, or email me at kevin.davidson@stewart.com. And in saying that, let's get the party started. So I have to my left, my immediate left, is Devon Smith. He is the owner and broker for Only One Realty Group. Say hey, everybody.
How's it going, guys?
Yeah, he does talk.
Yes.
So Devon and his wife own Adriana
Mendez.
Adriana Mendez own Only One Realty. They are headquartered in Dallas, but they are getting ready to take over the city of Houston. Is that correct?
We're going to do our best to. Yes, we're going to do it.
Yeah, be confident.
That's right.
So tell everybody a little bit about you and how you got started in the industry.
All right. So I came in 8.5 years ago, 2016. I was a brand new agent, just got licensed, and I was looking for a brokerage to be able to, be sponsored by. Mm-hmm. I ended up joining a big name, and essentially what ended up happening was I got with one of the biggest agents at that brokerage. They were a mentor there, and I thought my business was going to actually take off for me. I thought I was going to get great mentorship, great guidance, thinking my business was going to, just take off as a real estate agent. And I actually ended up getting the complete opposite, which was definitely a eye opener for me.
Yeah.
When I joined them, I expected to get mentorship and training, and I didn't. And so I went to my first listing appointment. Didn't know what I was doing, really. Didn't know what documents are really involved in a real estate transaction. I tried to reach out to my mentor multiple times. Never got phone calls back. Tried to reach out to my broker. Didn't get much traction there either. There was a waiting period. So you had to basically get a ticket assigned at the time. And so you had to get a response within 24 to 48 hours. So honestly,
you're a number. You're not a colleague. You're not a team member.
You got it.
You're a number.
Yeah. And I went on that listing appointment. It happened to be one of my neighbors because I went door knocking. So essentially I door knocked on all of my neighbors' houses to see if I could maybe give them a comparable analysis of what their homes were selling for. And one of my neighbors said, "Hey, Devon, you need to talk to this neighbor." His name was Dennis at the time. And we know he's getting ready to move to Oklahoma. So I was like, okay,
Really?
Great. That's an opportunity for me to go talk to someone, right? That might be actually interested in selling a home.
Right.
So I get to Dennis's house, and the first thing I do is I knock on his door. He opens up. He's an older gentleman. And Dennis goes, "Hey." And I go, "Hey, Dennis, my name's Devon. I got your information from one of our neighbors that said that you were interested in selling your home." And Dennis, it was hilarious. He goes, "I already talked to a real estate agent." And I go, "Dang." I was like, well, shoot. I was kind of frozen. I was like a deer in the headlights. I didn't know what to say back.
Right.
So Dennis was like, but honestly, I haven't signed any paperwork yet. What do you think my house is worth? So I was like, oh, well, shoot, here's my shot,
You went from frozen to, oh my God, I got to answer a question.
I was like, this is real, right? So, I said, hey, well, I ran a comparable analysis. Your homes are too.
You came to the house already had run the comparable, right?
Yes.
Good
so
idea.
Thanks for clarifying that. Yeah. So I actually already ran the comps for one-story homes and two-story homes, and so I already knew what they were selling for, whether they had a one-story or a two-story. I had a little bit of a mindset.
Right.
I did some YouTube before I got there. So yeah, and I was like, hey, Dennis, well, you have a 4-bedroom, 2-bath house. You have a pool. I said, based off the data, there was a home that's almost the same exact plan that was similar to yours without a pool, sold for, I think, $195, $200 at the time. Keep in mind, y'all, this was 8 years ago.
Yeah.
So he was like, that's really weird. Let me backtrack a little bit. When I told him that I think his home is worth $195 or more because it was in great condition and the other home had sold for $195, the other home didn't have a pool, almost same exact square footage, same exact year, and his home was very nice. His home was nicer than this one. So I actually thought his home was worth about 205 to 210. And so essentially Dennis goes, you know what? That's weird. The other agent told me my home was only worth 170,000. And I was like, let me just double check the numbers real quick. And so I went back and did some more data, and I said, no, Dennis, I mean, I honestly think that I could sell your home for this amount, because I'm looking at how long they sat on the market. It looks like there was multiple properties similar to yours also sold more than that. And so, he was like, you know what? I trust you. I'm going to give you a shot.
There you go.
And so I was like, I had an opportunity to score. So I got the listing. I tried to contact my mentor again. Didn't get much of a response.
Right.
And the same thing. And essentially, I got the agreement signed. I got the property on MLS, and I ended up getting a contract. 3 days later, after I, was working with the client already, I got a text from my mentor. He says, hey, Devon, did you still need help? And he just sent me a text, and I said, yes, I absolutely do. Shoot me a call or shoot me a text. Nothing. So I was like, man, is this what real estate's really about? Coming in, not getting support, not knowing what documents you're supposed to fill out. I learned all this stuff, at the real estate school, but now I really couldn't put the puzzle together.
Right.
I just had a bunch of pieces. So I got to work. I ended up getting that first deal closed within about, I think, 45 days of getting the listing. I ended up actually door knocking the rest of the neighborhood because I got a shot there.
Yeah.
And I started getting involved with the community. And let me tell you, I started hitting soccer fields.
What do they call this, folks?
Well,
what's the official term for what you're describing?
Well, I was door knocking at the beginning.
I teach this. It's called farming, guys.
I was door knocking, and then it started turning into, soccer fields, football fields. I remember Thursdays and Saturdays and Sundays, Adrian would always be like, where are you going? Every late afternoon, late evening, I had a stack of business cards, and somebody was about to get one.
Exactly.
So, and that's what I focused on. I just started getting the information out there.
So what? That was 8 years ago. You're a broker now, so you had to have figured out how to do some business, because you can't become a broker until you've gotten so many deals under your belt or so much time as an agent. How did you go from frustrated with your brokerage to you and your wife owning your own brokerage in 8 years? I mean, that's quick.
Yeah. Well, that's a great question. Let me answer it. So, Kevin, I was struggling at the beginning. I thought I wasn't going to do good. Before you know it, that same year, my first year in real estate, I closed 17 deals.
Nice.
Yes. And then, with all of the negative things I experienced as a mentee, I wanted to eliminate those problems when I started a team. And so I knew that we needed to capitalize on our strengths and not worry as much as on our weaknesses. So I wanted to fix the problem that new agents would have, because I already had an inside scoop of what problems I dealt with. I didn't know how to use the tools. I didn't know how to market myself. I didn't know how to do an open house. I had no idea I can actually talk to people and give them good value in conversations, making sure I can earn their business and earn their trust, and taking care of them as their agent and putting their interests first. So when we started a team, we started training agents on what they need to do so they don't get confused. How long was it from between the time that you became an agent and you started the team? Yeah, 1 year. So
1 year.
Yeah, 1 year. We started a real estate team.
Wow.
Within 1 year. And here's how I was able to do it. So I started contacting business development reps like you. I actually started contacting some of the title companies' attorneys. I started talking to some of the lenders. I started talking to other people that were in the business that were reputable, that can help me with my business. And so I know the title person that I was using at that time, she had given me some contacts. I started there to have those contacts. The brokers that we with, they did actually provide their contacts as well, which we were being able to use theirs as well. And we figured out who was really there to help our business and help us grow. And that was one of the most important things.
So you learned early on that it was very important for you to surround yourself with the sphere of influence of people that could help your business.
Absolutely, 100%.
That's the number one rule of any business.
Yep.
Surround yourself with the people that are already where you want to be at.
Yeah, 100%. And what's crazy is that the title person that we were using, they had all the contacts. And so that's where you guys come into play very well for the agents. You know, if you're a new agent, you're struggling, if you have no clue where to start, get a good title person on your team that can help you with your business. They're going to let you know who they can call. That was so critical for my business, to be honest with you, and that's what actually helped our group and expanded our group faster, because we were able to have great vendors that we were able to recommend them, and we were able to get deals closed, and our clients would have a great experience with the lenders that they were recommending, with the vendors that they were recommending, and so it really took off from there. And another thing too, Kev, I want to elaborate. You know, when we started a team after a year, we wanted to make sure that the teammates that we brought on had the same mindset. We didn't want people who just wanted to come in and hang their license.
Right.
We wanted someone who wanted to come in and do something with their license, and we wanted to teach them and give them the value and give them the support and give them the tools to do that. And that's what made our group even grow more.
You wanted people on your team that were wanting to grow like you were. That had the same vision, that had same drive, and same reason for getting up every morning.
100%.
And that not only says a lot about the people that were on your team, but it also says a lot about you, because I know I've been in this business for 9 years, real estate business. I could name, I'm not going to, but I could name 10 brokerages right now that only care about your monthly dues.
Yeah,
that's all they care about.
100%. And different brokerages have different setups. At our brokerage, we really care about the agent. We want to give them the best value, the best support at the lowest cost possible. But I'm going to be honest with you. I tell people we don't have a whole bunch of tools. And actually, we don't want a whole bunch of tools. We're kind of like Cane's or In-N-Out Burger, maybe even like Chick-fil-A.
There's only a couple things on the menu, but what we do it well.
That's right. That's right.
It's funny you say that. My old boss at Empire Industries, property management that doesn't exist anymore, but I'll give him a plug, Steve Rosenberg, he used to always say, people used to always ask us, because we grew so fast and we were a single family home management company, well, why don't you manage apartments? Why don't you manage commercial? And he used to always say, we make cheese pizzas and only cheese pizzas, and we do it very, very well. 100%. I'm not putting pepperoni on my cheese pizza. He said that all the time.
That's so important.
And people are like, oh yeah, okay, cool, I get that. That's so you just single family, you do a great job, and that's why you're doing that.
Absolutely. And so we knew that giving agents too many tools, having so many things that people could not really support. If you have a whole bunch of tools, guys and gals, especially if you're on your own brokerage, if you have a team, don't give them so many things. They're going to be confused. There's already enough items that an agent has to learn in order to be able to be successful, right? So if you give them a bigger menu, it's very unlikely that they'll use everything on the menu. So we don't have a big menu for a reason. We give them their necessities that they might need, their basic tools. But we also focus on the person itself with mentorship. It's very key for our foundation. We want to make sure that the mentor that they're partnered with is helping their business. We want to make sure they have a good connection. We want to make sure that they actually can answer their phone calls. And I don't want them to go through the same thing that I went through. And guess what? All of our mentors that we have, assigned, they all know our tools. They are the foundation to the growth of the company, right? And so we take pride on mentorship. We take pride on our agents learning and getting trained the right way. And we partner with business development reps like you guys, so we can make sure to have great training classes for them and great vendors that they can use for their business. And so it's critical for all new agents, but also even agents that have teams out there. So
tell everybody about, Only One Realty in Dallas, what you guys are doing to grow, what you guys want to do in Houston, and what the future looks like for you guys as far as
the vision.
The vision.
Absolutely. And so we're at 82 real estate agents now. We started off with 3 agents in a closet. Literally. The closet was probably 4x4. It was myself, Adriana, or actually Sam at first. Sam was my brother. And it was just us 3 as the real estate agents. None of the other agents transitioned from our other brokerage. And so we went in there with an empty slate. Long story short, we're at 82 year to date. What we're doing to grow, and the reason why we're growing through our agents first and foremost. Let me tell you, it was a lot easier to get to 82 than it was to get to 15.
Of course it is. It's like being on Google. It's a lot easier to get from page 75 to page 3, but to get from page 3 to page 1,
yep,
everybody else is already fighting the same battle, so it takes a lot longer.
Oh yeah, we were spinning our wheels for years, but we've doubled in size every single year. Year 2, I would say, was probably the most critical for us because I noticed we doubled in size, but guess what? We didn't double in performance.
Didn't double in revenue.
Yeah. And so we had to analyze what were we doing wrong. We had to also understand why isn't the agent getting some of the support they need or the training they need to be successful. Yeah. So we had to go through our growing pains to get there. But what we have done is we capitalize on our strengths again. We figured out what our weaknesses were. We limited our weaknesses and we focused on our strengths. So we became more efficient to be successful to recruit better through our agents.
Yeah. Now, what you're describing is not something that a lot of companies go through that. The smart ones, the good ones, are the ones that figure it out. You in the beginning, you were excited. You were adding agents and you were growing because it was making you feel better and you were adding more people to the team. And then later you were like, okay, but we're not getting the ROI that we thought based on these people. And you just kind of figured it out. You put the numbers in, and numbers don't lie. And you realized what it was that you needed to do to get to where your actual goal was, which was not quantity, it was quality.
Absolutely. And so what we also started to really zone in on was, can we actually have more than 50% of our agents closing monthly? So however many agents do we have, can we actually have 50% of them closing or having the numbers at least play out that way? So we actually fully hold all of our agents accountable. So we have a policy that states they have to close a certain amount of transactions based off their anniversary date, and we enforce our policies. So we're not only just bringing on new agents, we're making sure that they hold themselves accountable too. And
go ahead. No, finish.
So one of the things I really wanted to understand as a new agent, as a seasoned agent and someone who's mentored people and actually train them on how to do all kinds of different types of real estate transactions, I wanted to zone in on a couple of key things I think every new agent or team lead, because when I started a team, I had no clue how to have an efficient team, how to have a successful team. But I can tell you, at one point between 3 of my agents, my team was closing around 70 transactions a year.
A year.
Yes, just between 3 people. Okay, we know what the average sales are here in real estate. Average sales are around 5 or 6 transactions now. Looks like there's a lot more licenses, so I think the numbers actually decreased recently. But essentially, that's still a lot of business. And for 3 people, that was pretty good. That's huge. But what I really wanted to zone in on was our onboarding. Your onboarding process has to be good, ladies and gentlemen. So if you're starting a team, if you don't have a great process to get people going with the right information, that is critical to their growth. Okay. So I would honestly say anybody that's listening to this podcast, start with the people, learn from what they're not good at, find out what you guys are great at, implement it in your onboarding process, make sure that all of the agents get the same type of onboarding. And if it is going to be different, make sure it's adjusted based off of the personality. Because everybody has different types of personalities. Everybody learns differently. There's some people that are great at one-on-one. There's some people that are better at online stuff, right? But there's also people who just want to save money, which that's why I think our brokers comes into a good middle ground between that. Also, training. It's critical. And I'm not referring to just training by reading a book, okay? I'm talking about in the field experience. Doing a buyer rep consultation, doing a listing consultation, doing an open house, running net sheets, running loan estimates, partnering with great lenders. All that is critical with someone who is going to want to learn how to teach other people or guide someone in a real estate transaction. Oh, and I'm sorry, having
classes,
having great business development reps that can offer CE classes to their training. But also Stewart Title's app. I don't think anybody talks about that enough.
Yeah, no, we do have an app.
Stewart Title's app. You can calculate closing costs.
Stewart now. That's what it's called.
Oh,
No big
Stewart.
deal.
Oh, Stewart. Oh, yeah. Using Stewart's websites, running a seller net sheet or a buyer net sheet, coming up with the closing costs, emailing it to the client so they have an estimate. I can't tell you how critical that is, and I don't see agents capitalizing on net sheets. It's crazy. Like, how could you be in the business for 7
But
years
if you
never have a net
don't,
sheet?
if the brokerage or the team lead or the mentor doesn't tell them that they can do that, doesn't show it to them, don't make it available to them, they don't know.
Yeah.
You know, I say all the time, most brokerages, teach agents how to write contracts and stay out of trouble. They don't teach them how to run and grow their business.
Yep.
And that's probably more important than anything else. And that's why I decided to do what I do as far as teaching classes, because I help agents grow their business by teaching them marketing techniques that will bring them leads.
Absolutely.
And I don't know any brokerage that does that.
Yeah.
I haven't found one yet.
Well, you know, with us, this is at our brokerage what we offer, the type of value we give, right? Besides our mentorship, besides our transaction fee, because we're a transaction fee brokerage first and foremost. And you guys can always contact me, and I can always go over that information with you directly. You can always call us at 214-560-0422, or you can email us at support@onlyonerealtygroup.com, and that's the number one, support@onlyonerealtygroup.com. But I want to elaborate when you were just talking about like techniques and also training. So we do some really cool classes that we have developed with our presentations, like a how to prospect class. We lay it all out on how you can be able to get leads, how you can prospect leads, where you should get them from. We also teach door knocking. We teach farming methods. We teach how to use your social media, how to create video reels. We do a lot of that stuff. And
So you do that.
oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Okay, so I've been corrected on my own podcast.
Oh yeah, we do that. Yeah, we do that. We also, we definitely try to have the great, business development reps that offer that type of, CE hours as well in classes for our agents. And so a lot of our agents can actually stream into our classes online. Stewart Title's been a huge supporter of us, which has been awesome. The classes that they offer, our agents can come to their classes whenever they host them, which is awesome because our agents love Kevin and they love Stewart. But going into more of the training stuff and what techniques do, we actually teach a real estate agent step by step through the real estate transaction. You're like, what do you mean, Devon? Like, what do you mean? We don't just say upload for a contract or a 1-to-4 or a third-party financing addendum. We don't just say upload. We teach them all of the steps all the way through the real estate transaction, which is critical for a new agent because especially like me, I had no clue. I knew I had to fill out documents, but I didn't know the process. I didn't know about FHA and VA guidelines. I didn't know about municipal utility districts. I didn't know about PIDs or pay improvement districts. I didn't know about how to check for a flood zone. My mentor wouldn't even answer my phone call. Think about how much stuff I would have stepped in. Putting someone into a contract without even knowing about how you can check their if it's in a flood zone on FEMA's website, or knowing that you can read a survey to determine a flood zone. You're all welcome. But yeah, there's so many different tactics that we've learned just from training, but also doing research that we brought value to our agents. So what we've really done, we've sped up their growth in a realistic sense. They didn't have to go through 8 years of training like I did and Adriana did for the brokerage. They're getting all of our value and all of our knowledge at a low cost, and we're doing it to where we can speed up their business, develop a strong foundation in each city, and our agents are the ones who are growing our business.
See, this is, guys, this is why I bring the guest on my podcast that I bring, because he just explained that he realized a need, a pain point in real estate between brokers and agents, and he fixed it. Okay. I'm going to tell you right now on this podcast, this is the first broker that I've ever known that has fixed this problem. Okay. So, you guys are recruiting right now.
Absolutely.
In Dallas and Houston.
Yes.
Okay. If someone is interested in learning more about your brokerage, how do they do that?
It starts with a phone call. You can literally text me on my cell phone or text the company number, and we will make sure you get in contact with one of our brokers. That's key too for an agent's performance. I can tell you right now, I wasn't even able to reach my broker for days at the original company that I started with. you can literally reach out to us right on our cell phones. We have 82 agents, so we're still small and we're easy to get in contact with. So if they do want to reach out to us, you can always call us 214-560-0422, or you can go online to our website, www.onlythenumber1realtygroup.com, and we have a join O1R section on the website, and all you have to do is follow the prompts, and it will get you in contact with us.
Awesome. Tell everybody one thing that you haven't said so far that you want them to know about Only One Realty. What is one thing that if someone said, I heard about your company, or I heard about your brokerage, or why should I join your team? One thing.
Well, we actually capitalize on accountability here, and we hold the agent accountable, but we hold ourselves accountable. And I tell people our brokerage is only as good as the person who is at the bottom or at the top. We want everybody to have a great feeling about our team. That goes from our staff to our brokers. We see it like this. Everybody is disposable. If we don't do our job, we do not need to be in that position. So we handle anywhere from our staff to our brokers, our mentors. Everybody is replaceable, but let me tell you, the people who are earning these positions are the ones leading the way for us. The name of the brokerage is actually about every single agent and every single client. That's why it's called Only One. We care about every single person's experience with us. So it's something that's unique. I actually embrace that.
You guys hold your agents accountable, but you give them the experience, the support, the knowledge, the training to be able to achieve the goals, so they don't have to be held accountable. They
embrace it.
Perform.
Yes, they embrace it. They learn, and they're able to capitalize on our failures, to be honest with you, and speed up their growth with us. So every single client matters to us. Every single agent matters to us. That's why we will always answer our phone calls. We will always have a quick response time within a certain time period. Our brokers always respond back within 24 hours. We will a lot of the times get back with you the same day. You can literally text us to our cell phones, and we will answer your questions and help you guys out. So you'll always be supported all year round.
So give them the phone number and email address one more time, and do it a little bit slower. Because the last time you did, I was like, what was that?
It's 214-560-0422, and that's www.onlythenumber1realtygroup.com.
Awesome. So you guys keep an eye out for this guy and his wife and Only One Realty, because they're blowing up in Dallas and they're gonna blow up in Houston.
Yes.
I'm gonna be hitching my wagon to this guy. Okay. So this is Devon Smith, Only One Realty. Thank you very much for being on the podcast.
No problem. Thank you for having me.
We'll have him back. We're gonna take a quick break, and we're gonna get everybody knows Nas K. We're gonna bring her on. All right, guys. We'll be right back.
Take care, guys. And if you want to follow us on Instagram, at Only One Realty Group.